What's up, guys? My name is Khan and we're back today with more Gearblocks, and today we're back on the go-kart track because I realized I hadn't actually done something that's kind of critical in Gearblocks, and that is fix my multi-speed transmission. This go-kart is not the go-kart we're looking for. We're actually looking for mine, which is this one here. Now, in a previous episode, I turned this into a 2-speed shifter kart, you can see, but this was using an old method where we actually had to push the gears back and forth. You can see we slide the gears using this piston, and that changes the ratio from a high gear to a low gear, and that's all great and everything. But then, of course, the dev went and added proper clutch gears. So I figured what we're gonna do today is we're gonna rip this thing apart, and we're just gonna try and rebuild the whole transmission on the back using these clutch gears and see if we can make a better system. So we're literally just gonna start by deleting all this nonsense and try and make either a 2-speed or a 3-speed. I think it'll probably still be a 2-speed, but I do want to try and see if we can make this better, because we've got this one gear here, and this was just so as we slide this bar over, that gear always meshes with something, and I think it's, it's not really necessary anymore. I think we can do this a little bit better and have it look a little bit proper. Let's remove the drive belt already. We still have our motor there, that's fine. And of course, we'll probably have to drop our torque on our motor. This go-kart was a little bit too quick the entire time, and we don't really need that anymore. So we've got our axle way down there. That's fine. Why does that... oh, this whole thing is... let's just... you know what? Let's just remove all this framing, because we're just going to try and rebuild something that's just way better than what this ever was. So there we go. That's our centered axle piece, no problem. And we're going to delete that, delete this, and delete this. And we can leave our motor there for now. Okay, the first thing we're gonna have to do is get power from our axle to our transmission, and then get power from our transmission to our actual, yeah, I think we're gonna have 3 bars again, because that just makes a little bit more sense. We could have 1 gear on the axle that drives the transmission, so let's do that. We could do it with a pulley as well, but I don't think there's any slip in this game. Like, the reason you wouldn't use a pulley in real life is because you'd have some slip, right? Like, a pulley requires the friction, and let's just reset that. We don't need that running. But yeah, the pulley requires, like, friction in order for it to work properly. And in this game, I'm pretty sure there's just infinite friction, so it doesn't actually matter. So there we go. That can be our main drive gear. And then that'll go up to an axle right above it. I wonder if we can make that smaller. We could drive it actually with like 1.5s. Maybe we could do that just to move the axles a little bit closer together. Like if I do this, like this, how close can I get the axle above that? We're gonna need, you know what, let's just delete this as well for now. There we go. We're gonna need one of these pieces, and let's put this like so. And let's see if we can get another axle right above this one. Okay, that becomes, oh, we need really, really tiny gears. And then we have no room. No, we gotta go up here. Otherwise, we don't have any room for any sort of other gear mesh. So this is gonna have to be some 2s, probably. 2 diameter like that. Copy that, put it up here, and it should be meshed. Yeah, there we go, perfect. Okay, so that's our drive system, and then we just have to kind of find our transmission meshes with our clutch gears. Now, the only thing you're gonna see when we get to clutch gears, there's only one thing that I'm not really sure about with clutch gears, and that's how to kind of control them. You can see we'll have the ability to toggle which gear we're in, but we have to basically have a button press. We'll get there in a sec. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's kind of weird. And I'm not sure if there's a better way to do it, but that's meshed at a 1-to-1. Now we need some actual gear ratios. So we're probably gonna, like, I'd like to do 3. Here's a 1.5. Man, I gotta figure out, okay, hold on. Let's go up again. So if we go like that, we put another axle up here. If we go a 1.5 is gonna go to like a 2.5, right? Yeah, so that's 1 ratio. And then we could go a 2-to-2, like so. Does that hit? No, that's good. So a 2 could go to a 2, like this. We only need the clutch gears on one side, right? Because we only need them to disengage on the one side. And then we could go another 1.5 here, but put it up on this side, and then go to a 2.5 down here. And there we go. That's a 3-speed right like that. And depending on which gear we've picked, we've got 3 different ratios. So here we've got a 20-tooth to a 12-tooth, a 16 to a 16. So this is a 1-to-1. This is a, what's a 20 divided by 12? 1.6 something. I'm going to do math on my calculator because I don't actually know. So it is 1.666. Yeah, perfect. It's actually a 1.6. And then this will be the same thing, but in the opposite direction. So it'll be like, what, a 0.8 or whatever the heck it is. And then I think what we'll do is we'll actually just try and center this whole mechanism a bit. So this will come over like so. That can go over to here. We're going to need this extended to attach to that. And we'll move these over like this. See if that works. That can go to there. That can go to there. That can go to there. I think that's still got clearance. It does. Perfect. And that goes to there. Done. And then this, of course, extends out and goes to our drive, which we can actually bring our motor over more. Put our drive into there. And again, our drive pulley. And that can connect. Ooh, that's not going to have much space. It's going to interfere with that gear mesh. Hold on. Might have to actually swap the gear mesh to the other side. Yeah, we can put this on this side. There we go. Do something like this. This is our drive get mesh down to our axle. That can go like that. Perfect. This can get sealed in there. Like so. That can go like that. Grab another block. You can see with this new update, like, I mean, this update came out a while ago, but you can tell right off the bat, it is a lot easier to do really cool gear systems now. Just because, oh, that's perfect. That's actually attached nicely. We can bring this down to here as well. But yeah, it's a lot easier to do transmissions. Like this is a full 3-speed. Well, actually, let's paint this all up just so it's a little bit easier to see. So we can actually do this. So those are our 3 mesh gears. And then this right here, we'll paint this one orange. That's our drive gear that goes down to the axle. But this is our transmission, our 3 ratios. So this would be, oh, actually, these are in the wrong direction. This would be our low gear. This would be our medium gear. And this would be our high gear. And then, of course, we just kind of grab this bar, move this back over, and we put a really, really big pulley on it so that we're reducing the ratio coming off our engine basically by as much as possible. Maybe like a 4 size pulley. That might be good. Yeah. All right. And then we link this to there. Perfect. So that's our drive. We probably need to adjust our engine a little bit. Max RPM. Yeah, let's bring that down a lot. Let's bring that down to like 1,000. Perfect. And then here's where stuff gets kind of weird. So this is our first gear ratio, which is this gear we want to engage. So we're going to turn all these clutch gears on. And if I go to this one, this is where the controls are kind of a little bit weird. So we can pick a control key. Like I could say this is gear 1, right? So it's in 1 gear. And I can go key toggle activation if I wanted to, right? Which means if we press 1 once, it'll stay activated. But the problem is if I then press 2 to, let's say, activate this gear. So let's go 2 on that one. It won't shut off the 1 gear, right? Like it won't turn off. I guess maybe I could put 2 on this. So if I press 2, like if I press 1, it'll shift to 2. But then if I tap 2 twice, it'll shut this gear. See, it's really, it's hard to actually control these properly. So the way I've been enjoying doing it when I've just been playing around with these gears is doing just like a 1, 2, 3 system. So if you hold 1, you're in first gear. If you hold 2, you're in second gear. And you hold 3, you're in third gear, which for me works fine because I have numbers 1, 2, and 3 mapped to my mouse. So I can do that, where obviously for other people, that's a little bit different. So if we wanted to actually have this shut off, you'd almost need like a macro key where when you press like 2, it taps the 1 key once just to shut off the 1 gear and converts it over. I haven't really thought of a better way to do this yet. Like we could, I guess if we tried 2 here, then it would go, okay, you press 1, that's fine. It puts you in first gear. You tap 2, if this was 2, then you tap 2, it's gonna turn off this gear and turn on the next gear. And then you tap 3, and it's gonna, like I could do it for this one as well. You tap 3, it's gonna turn off this gear and turn off that gear. And then this one, like you tap 1 again, but then you're going back from 3 to 1. Whereas if I want to go back down, yeah, I know this isn't gonna, it's very difficult. But you can see what I was saying, like it's a very, no, I want to, or click again. There we go, unbind that, yeah. So it's a very difficult system. I'm gonna keep it with the hold 1, 2, 3 and see how that works. And just, you know, it means that if we're not holding 1, 2, or 3, we're not in any gear at all. And the whole thing's going to be completely messed up. But I think this is literally like all we need to make a wicked 3-speed transmission. It's super compact. But again, let me know in the comments if you guys have played around in Gearblocks and know a better way to control this. Let me know. I'm very curious what you guys have thought of. I have to actually, I should probably message the dev and ask him what his thoughts are on this as well, because right now you can engage these no problem, but without any sort of like logic controls, which we don't really have any. Yeah, ooh, we should make a porcelain throne. Everyone's been telling me I should use toilet seats. But without any logic controls, like we've got altitude sensors, angle sensors, and all that stuff, but we don't really have a way to actually like control the clutches with logic, which I think that would be a super cool thing for Gearblocks to add, is just some basic logic parts, you know, like some AND gates, OR gates, just the basic 3 gates, right? And XOR and NOR gate. If we had those, we could do whatever the heck we want, and we could make a proper gear shifting system that actually controls all the gears individually with the tap of a button. We could have a shift up, shift down kind of setup. So I know the dev is, like I said in the last video, I know he's working on these crazy combustion engines, which I think is gonna be super cool. Not sure if he's thought about logic or not yet, but I think for Gearblocks, logic is probably the next natural progression point, just so we could do some crazy clutch gear setups. But anyway, let's see what this does. Hello? Okay, interesting. Something is stuck. Probably my axle. Yeah, no. Hold on, that's a rotating joint. Oh, this is not rotating. That needs to rotate, and that needs to rotate. There we go. Is that good? I think we're good there. Now we can try, so go. Oh my god, this first gear is very slow. Perfect. Alright, so that's first gear. Get a nice quick speed. Second gear. Gets a little bit faster. I think I might need to crank the motor torque up again. And third gear. I mean, it's not bad. It's kind of cool. I do have to hold 1 and 2. Second is great for taking these corners. Third's nice for straights. Hold second. But you can see I'm actually shifting constantly now. I'm pressing 1, 2, 3. Like, this is third gear. It's great. And it doesn't require any effort. It's so nice not having to, like, actually move the gears out of position. You don't really see anything that's happening. But I think we can crank the motor torque up just a little bit. This is third gear. This is like those kiddie carts. Hold second, you can get better turning radius. Hold third, you get better on the straights. And first does pretty much nothing for you. I like this a lot though. All right, let's crank the speed up. But yeah, you can see with the new transmission pieces, like, it's awesome. I haven't really played around with them since the update, and it is really, really cool how quickly you can slap together just a changing gear ratio system. I was also playing around too with like making an automatic transmission using centrifugal clutches. I'm gonna save you guys the details on that because I still think there's a lot of work to be done on that one. But it's pretty cool what you can do with some centrifugal clutches. I've been trying to make a system where it automatically kind of like toggles between one axle or the other based on the speed of the drive axle using some centrifugal clutches. And so far I've had some, you know, let's say limited success with that one. But it's pretty cool that the game actually like has all these parts now and lets us do some really cool stuff. It's also really cool that I don't know how to drive. But yeah, it's really easy. I mean, like right off the bat, in about 10 seconds, we set up a 3-speed transmission that's more compact than the 2-speed we had, and I can't drive to save my life. But yeah, it's just, god dang, I still cannot drive. Honestly, first gear's kind of useless in this. Third gear has no ability to turn because we don't have a rear differential. We're just kind of like plowing forward. Or no, first is good for this. Look at that quarter. Nice first gear quarter. Maybe not. Alright, well, obviously this works, which is cool. So I actually want to take it to that racetrack, and we're going to change the main drive ratio when we get there. So let's just save this up real quick. And we're going to save this as like a 3-speed go-kart. And yeah, you can see I've been working on some stuff that's just kind of ridiculous. We're not going to talk about that. I'm trying to use centrifugal clutches. I'll give you guys a spoiler right now. Trying to use centrifugal clutches to make a CVT, a continuously variable transmission. It has been a project. It is very, very difficult to do. I'm sure someone's going to type in the comments, well, Kart, I figured it out in about 6 minutes, and I have this crazy system that works, and blah, blah, blah. And that's great. But like, I've been trying to figure it out for myself, and oh boy, is it interesting. You can do some weird stuff when you have 2 gears meshing simultaneously, but they're controlled by centrifugal clutches to go to like the drive axle. It's kind of ridiculous what you can do with that. But let's go take this to the actual like test track and see if we can make this thing go crazy. So here we are back at the test track, of course. We're just gonna swap this back pulley, and we're just gonna remove that. And that was a 3-size pulley, so we're gonna make it a little bit smaller. Let's see if we can do something here. I should probably put a centrifugal clutch on this as well. That would be a lot better. Possibly a differential, but it is a go-kart, so we're not going to talk too much about that. But yeah, I'm very curious if you guys have a suggestion on how to make the controlling of the gears better. Obviously, not being able to like toggle them. I could set up macro keys on my computer. I mean, that's really like sort of the workaround for all this is just have a macro key when you press 1, it like taps 2 and reverses 1 and so on and so forth. I do have macro keys on my keyboard like built into it, so I could just do that. But obviously I don't really want to do that. I'd rather a system that's more universal where, like, you know, we tap 2 to shift up, tap 1 to shift down, and that would be it. So let's see if we can actually set down some sort of a lap time here and what we can do with that. Let's just creep forward. I don't know how fast this is going to be. That's first. That's second. And then third is like long. Interesting. All right, well, it doesn't matter. Let's try this out. Let's just drop it down. Try it out. I bet you I can put down a better lap with this thing than any of my vehicles before, but here we go. 3-speed transmission test. Full speed ahead. Yeah, just hold 3. This is all we got. I can probably just do the whole thing in 3rd gear, can't I? I probably need to like change the ratio. But no, I can't. Never mind. Oh God! Just shift down to 2nd. Yeah. Yeah. That was terrible. That was terrible. Now I'm pulling to the right. I broke something. I broke something indeed. It's pretty much just playing between 2nd and 3rd. If you want to turn, you switch into 2nd. And then if you don't want to turn, you go into 3rd, because we're straight axle still. So we don't have a diff on the rear, so it just kind of like plows forward. I literally broke the front wheel though. It's actually kind of cool though. Being able to shift your ratio, it means you don't have to brake into corners. You can just like crank the throttle the whole time. And then when you get to a corner, like a tight corner like this, you just go down to 1. Okay, maybe I have to brake there a little bit. You know, it's not bad. It's not, I feel like I could change the final ratio and make it a 1-to-1, and we could beat a 1-minute time. So let's just actually do that. I literally broke this axle somehow. Oh, God. Oh, right, I have to actually be in a gear to brake. That would make sense. All right. Here we go. One more attempt. I'm just going to scale these side panels over like this. Move them forward, right? And then I should be able to take the steering servo and crank this up like crazy to get maximum steering angle out of it. And then I think we can just save this guy and put this thing... Yeah, confirmed. Excellent. And then maybe this will actually be like a proper go-kart at one point in time. We'll turn off the invincibility. There we go. So now if I turn left... Oh, yeah, look at that angle. Now we're into interfering with other stuff conditions. The tires kind of... That might be a little too much. The tires kind of rub up. But that's actually perfect. It was just interfering with that one block. All right, I'm going to remove these end plates as well, just to give our tire a little bit more space. And then I think I can like reduce this in. There we go, like that. And bring this in as well. There, perfect. I want to make sure we have like as much steering space as possible. We'll do one final lap now. This should be the system. But I am very curious to hear what you guys have to say in the comments down below about like how to make the shifting a little bit smoother without logic. If there's a way to do it without me having to hold 1, 2, or 3. Because I think it would be really, really cool if we could make a sequential gear system that just, you know, climbs through the gears without having to use a big piston. I mean, I could go back to the piston method, but obviously the dev added all these clutch gears, which is fantastic, having clutches built into the gear. But of course, we've got to have a more effective way to control them. So, got to think about that a little bit. I haven't really played too much around with controls. And I mean, worst case, like I said, we'll just set up some sort of a macro key and do it that way. But here we go, final lap. Let's get this done. Let's do an actual clean lap. 1, 2, 3. Of course, 3 is not very different from 2, but it still is. Yeah, this is so much smoother now. Got a little bit more weight too, so it kind of wants to stay down on the track. Took that a little wide, but that's okay. Oh God, if you shift into first and then slam the brake, it just spins. You lock that rear axle and it is not a good time. Still a pretty sweet car though. This is not going to be a record-breaking lap time though, unfortunately. It is so much easier to drive though when you can change your gear ratio. Wow, like your final drive just changes. Go down to first. Yeah, first just spins you. And then you lose the whole car. Well, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure, of course, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think of Gearblocks. I mean, I think it's a great game. I'm really excited to see what the dev does with combustion engines. Like I said in that last video, it's really cool to see the dev working on such new stuff. And I hope logic comes at some point in time, because you know me, I'm a big sucker for having some logic systems and logic controls. I think it's just so powerful what you can do with just a few basic gates. And you could really just, you know, do all sorts of... Oh my god, what? I could have sworn I turned off invincibility. Apparently not. No, oh my, we survived 2 jumps like that with invincibility on? Are you serious? Well, that's ridiculous. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Of course, wicked easy to make super small transmissions now. Hadn't done it since the last video, and I was super excited to try it with the clutch gears. But, you know, a little bit difficult to control. And it would be cool to try something that has a better control system. So let me know if you guys have any ideas about how to make this better. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see y'all next time.